Hello, party people. Sorry. Yeah. Good news. This one's really short. I've only got 2 entire pages this time. Yeah, we're not going to be long at this, for sure. Let me just move my microphone just a touch to the side. Okay. So, of course, we start off where we start off normally, with, no, not Sic Semper Mentalis. In this case, we're starting off with the cover image, because, well, yeah, I've only got 16 images to get through, and it's not going to take me long. So, we start with this shot. This is Andrew Robinson's character, Ogden, in the rain, and I did say it was a visually interesting opening. It pans down, shows him standing outside Ben Reilly's window. It's good. It is. It's good. And I said here, cinematography continues to be very much the most enjoyable element of this entire piece. However, the spider powers, not so much. The spider powers are inconsistent. When Ogden is approaching the door, it gives Ben the tingle in the back of the neck, warning that there's danger approaching. Yet somehow, Mr. Detective Guy is caught unawares when Ogden slips his hand into his pocket, pulls out a syringe, and jabs him in the hand. Yeah. Spider sense is inconsistent, yet again, the writing's errors and idiocy are the worst parts of the piece. Yeah, except till you see the next shot, at which point I had to go, well, maybe. Yeah. I mean, aside from Cage's acting choices, which might be worse, again, for which we might have to blame the director, or the directrix, I called her. Yes, yet again, this is Alethea Jones's mess. Yeah. The next thing all I wrote down here was, Jesus Christ, what are you doing, Nick? Yes. The, curling spider pose, which every yogi knows. That was an unintentional rhyme, and I'm sorry, I'll try not to do it another time. That one was intentional. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the weird-ass pantomime that Cage engages in throughout this entire episode, I'm at a loss. All I can do is make fun of it. That's literally all I can do. And I make a lot of fun of him. Yeah, what are you doing, Nick, besides proving how important an actual good director really is? Yeah. I'm sorry, if I'd been directing this and Nick Cage started doing this shit, I'd look at him and go, what the fuck are you doing? For a couple of reasons. One, that looks hokey as hell. For another, spiders don't get into that pose unless they're dead. Are you dead, Nick? Is your character dead, Nick? Did your character die? No, your character's sick. Your character should be behaving like a sick human. What the fuck are you doing? But, yeah, let's at least look at some of the good things. Well, that answers that question. So, he's got some of Toby's spider powers. I'm still, at this point, I'm still not sure whether or not he's supposed to have the strength. Also, you'll note that the port, for lack of a better term, the orifice, extends directly forward, like out of the forearm, in this direction. That's important later, because he manages to essentially make a curved shot, somehow. Yeah. It's bad. It's all the bad. Let's see. The only thing I wrote here was, what the fuck again? Yeah, and I actually had to put the caption on screen. What the actual fuck are you doing here, Nick? Like, this is still essentially part of the same scene. And you'd like to think this was the end of the silly pantomime. It's not. He does more silly pantomime later. Let's see. For a change of pace, this shot has more lens flare than J.J. Abrams' Star Trek movies combined. Ow, my fucking eyes. Yeah. This one threw me because, ironically, having picked up so much trivia over the course of my life, I'm aware of the fact that plastic straws didn't exist in the 30s, and I went looking. It turns out they had paper straws, so the new paper straws are not actually a new invention. However, back then they had them waxed. So they weren't water permeable. Environmentalist knobs, are you paying attention? We don't have to use these soggy fucking sticks of goo to drink our coffees through. We could be using waxed paper. Go figure. However, there is a point where the straw gets bent at one point, and that was not created until well after this show is set. So, yeah. I did do a bit of a no prize thing for this, and gave them the benefit of the doubt. No prize, for those of you who don't know, is an old Marvel Comics thing, where if something inconsistent happened in the story, or in the issue, in one of the comic books, fans would write in and say, oh, maybe it was this, and the staff from Marvel would give them a no prize, which means you get no prize, but you get the bragging rights of having gotten a no prize. It's one of those, how to put it, archaic things that really should have been kept going. Even now, fans will give shows like this and other pieces of media too much of the benefit of the doubt. It's skirting the edge of anachronism, so I'll let it go. Yeah, for this one I just said, oh look, and we get to revisit the cage scream from The Wicker Man. No, he actually does make the same screeching noise. He doesn't actually say, not the spiders. I had to add that because it was just such a funny scene, where he's being cut open to be experimented on, and you can see spiders begin to emerge from his abdomen. So, yeah, I had to add the not the spiders. Not the spiders! Yeah. They're in my abs. Abs. Robinson, like so many others of the supporting cast, and I have to say this because he is doing yeoman's work with an atrocious bit of writing. The writing is terrible. There are so many cliches in the writing. There's one point where Nicolas Cage, where Ben Reilly, where the character threatens the doctor this guy is the assistant for, Dr. Faber, who it turns out is his mother. Go figure, we didn't know that, right? But there's a point where he threatens her. She says, is that a threat? And he says, it's not a threat, it's a promise. Who the fuck wrote this shit? What are you, 12? Are you just out of high school? Have you never been in a bar fight? People don't actually talk like that when they're sober. This is Ogden after the antidote has been administered. He is de-aged and takes the gun from his mother because, of course, she wants to kill Riley because, it was always about his life for yours. Needless, but anyway, Ogden takes the gun and says, no, I'll do it. And I did have to say here, I wonder if this trigger discipline is more Kai Castor, the actor, who did a good job. I don't think I've ever seen him in anything else, but he did a really good job as the character, embodying the same character that Andrew Robinson had done. And I suspect, I have nothing to back up this speculation, but I suspect that Robinson probably helped coach him on how to embody the character. If not, this kid's got talent, and he should absolutely go places. Unfortunately for him, yeah, it is what it is. I did say, I wasn't sure if this was his knowledge to have the finger up so far over the up onto the slide, or if it was maybe the production. Little later, he kind of shows bad trigger discipline, but it's in the middle of an acting. So I'm not 100% sure. Yeah. Just the same, I do actually enjoy Kai Castor, as short-lived as his character is. I'll spoil this because I'm not going to recommend this to you. His character and the Doctor both die by the end of this, or at least appear to. It's certain that the Doctor dies. I'm not 100% certain Castor does. Or Ogden does. The character is Ogden. I did say here that I thought these were decent creature effects, and I will point out the earlier shot of the forearm with the spinneret. I thought that was decent makeup creature effect, assuming it's not CGI. I'm forced to remember the comment that several other people had told me that after they had watched this entire series, they felt that the CGI, the black and white, was used to hide CGI shenanigans, errors. Personally, I think it's pretty good. The effect of him shooting the webs and everything in this scene is pretty good. Right? I mean, I've got to praise it where I can, because then shit like this happens. Like, honestly, what the fuck, Nick? Remember what I said about the whole pantomime thing not ending? Yeah. Yeah, it goes on for a while. I don't understand why. Silvermane does show up long enough to deliver a bad Shakespearean quote. Or comment. He tells the Doctor that she's got everything but a cauldron and 2 weird sisters. It's 3 weird sisters, you fucking numpties. Who the fuck is writing this shit? I'm willing to bet Gleason, as a trained actor, knows full well that the Scottish play has 3 weird sisters in it. I would also hazard a potential no-prize guess here that the intent here was to portray the Doctor as one of the weird sisters. Not really well done. And the last image I have is of a very bad makeup job. Yeah, this is meant to be an incision that was supposed to have been closed up by the Doctor. Looks like she went about halfway and quit. Yeah, it's... Yes. Yeah, you guys want my recommendation? Don't fucking watch this show. I'm only watching it because, A, I'm making content with it, which isn't me grifting. This is literally me just unable to stop myself from being a completionist. And, you know, I just can't help it. So we'll have a look at trivia first. And spoilers, obviously. So, Ogden reveals that Ben changed his name to Ben Reilly from something else. When? I was paying attention to the entire dialogue of this fucking show. At no point do I recall Ogden actually saying, hey, he changed his name. No, doesn't seem to have happened. And I had looked at this page before I started the episode. So I was waiting for this moment. I was like, where the fuck is it? Nope. Let's see. Silvermane visits a location identified within the narrative as Battery Osgood, with the Statue of Liberty prominently visible. Oh, sorry. In the background to establish a New York harbor setting. The actual Battery Osgood is a former coastal artillery installation located in San Pedro, California. Go figure, it's within the Los Angeles area. Constructed as part of Fort MacArthur Defense Complex. No Battery Osgood. Which, if they'd been smart, they would have changed it at least to Battery Osborne. But no Battery Osgood exists within the NYC Harbor Defense Network, which historically comprised installations such as Fort Wadsworth, Fort Hamilton, and Fort Totten. The episode's geographic relocation of the California Artillery Battery to New York Harbor constitutes, go figure, a factual error regarding the identification of period military installations. Silvermane tells the scientist, and I just mentioned this, that the only thing missing from her laboratory is a cauldron and 2 sisters. A direct reference to the 3 witches in William Shakespeare's Macbeth. The 3 weird sisters, blah blah, double, boil and trouble, yeah, we know all the toil and trouble, yeah, we know all this. Silvermane's remark casts the scientist as a solitary witch whose laboratory equipment and experimental methods evoke the supernatural alchemy of Shakespeare's Conjuring scene. Could you be more fucking... What are you getting marked on this? You getting graded for word count? The reference also carries an implicit threat, framing Silvermane as a figure who views the scientist's work as dark sorcery conducted in service of a master. Well, there's a fucking logical leap that didn't actually happen. Nice try, though. Dialogue in the 6th episode establishes that Ben Reilly changed his name. Really? Are you sure? Because I don't remember seeing it. The second episode, Tread Lightly, features Ben adopting the alias Pete while disguised as a maintenance worker to retrieve his spider costume. Yes, that was all he called himself, was Pete. That was it. Combining the two narrative details suggests, here's another one of those logical leaps that helps to, correct one of the problems with this show. One of the problems being that it doesn't honor the source material very well. Fuck off. In fact, listen for the click. Did you hear it? Okay, I'll do it again. Hang on. There you go. Yeah. Here's a funny thing, though. The person writing this doesn't understand that Peter Parker is not Spider-Noir. Oopsie. Big fucking oopsie. Yeah. The Pete alias in the other episodes appears retrospectively, so you're basically post-check and changing, and you can't do that. They didn't make it clear at all, anywhere in this show, that Ben Reilly had ever gone by the name Peter Parker. Fuck off with your bullshit, you fake fucking nerd. And the Pete alias, blah, 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 before the post-war name change with the series, leaving the explicit confirmation unstated. Yes, because they didn't fucking confirm it, because it isn't fucking true. The Peter Parker Spider-Man is not the Ben Reilly Spider-Noir. We know this shit. Anyway, we'll take a quick swing through the... let's have a look at the user reviews. I haven't bothered to do... I don't want to sign in to do that. Let's go back and have a look at the... trivia. Yeah, we didn't see any goofs, did we? So here we have Alethea Jones again, Jack Henderson, poor bugger, Jennifer Frazen, Megan Liao. It didn't occur to me to have a look at the production or the producer numbers, but we'll do that now. Let's have a look at that. So the number of producers for this episode. Let me just zoom out a bit so we can count them all. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 20. 20 different people listed as producers. And you wonder why the show is so bad. Yeah, kind of hard to avoid at that point. And, yeah. Yeah, Robbie doesn't actually appear in this episode. Kat only appears in a flashback. Janet doesn't appear at all. In fact, that's one of the good things about the episode that I forgot to mention. Janet does not appear at all. The only time Janet is actually mentioned, Riley is leaving an envelope of money for her. Let's see. Who else? Yeah, very few. I don't recall a Maitre D. I vaguely recall the American POW. I'm already repressing this because it's so bad. The director of photography, I'm curious about this guy because I want to know what else he's worked on, because he's actually pretty good. Or seems to be pretty good. So let's have a look down here for his other credits. Nope. Nope. Okay, a cinematographer. The Residence, The Continental. I think I've seen parts of that. That's the one with Mel Gibson, if I recall correctly. He only did one episode, though. 4 episodes did he do? He only did 2 episodes Spider-Noir. Probably the 2 I've already enjoyed the most. The New Mutants, he did pretty good on that. Let's see. Now You See Me Too. See, a lot of these, it's very obvious. Cabin in the Woods actually had really good cinematography. And then all the way back to 2011, he's doing videos. The Love Guru, dear God. I feel bad for the guy. He's worked on some real fucking stinkers. Let's see. I Heart Huckabees, Austin Powers Goldmember. Anything here you could really sink your teeth into? I haven't seen Mystery Alaska, so I wouldn't be able to speak to that. But how long has he been working? 1982, The Silence. He was the cinematographer on a short. He was the director of photography for The Evil Dead 2. There's a Raimi connection for you. That tells me something very important there. This guy knows his fucking craft, because he's had to work on solidly short budgets before. Let me see here. Okay. I believe that's the right one. Oh, well, we'll leave it there for now. So we'll just leave poor Ogden in the rain. My recommendation, don't watch this show. Please don't watch this show. The only reason I would ever recommend someone watch this show is if you are an absolute spider fanatic, and you have to. And in that case, I wouldn't need to recommend it. You'd just be watching it anyway. Yeah, so that's been fairly short. If you're enjoying what I do, please do consider sending me some money through Ko-Fi. I'm going to ask people not to contribute through Rumble anymore. My last Rumble rant, which was very generous, well, Rumble took 50% of it. Yeah. I understand Rumble is having, money flow problems, because clearly that's the reason, most likely, behind their changing the terms of their partnership for ad revenue and things of that nature. Now, apparently, you need 75 unique chatters and 100 shorts each month. If I cut 100 shorts out of something, I am rapidly going to find people unsubscribing. And I would expect it, because I couldn't possibly cut 100 shorts out of something without just having it be absolute meaningless drivel. I don't do that. And I won't do that. In any case, if you'd like to support me financially, you can do so by going over to the Ko-Fi, flinging me a few bucks. If you do that on a monthly basis, I'll put your name in the ticker alongside GETTR Ep6 and Simon JJ. There's also an anonymous donor in the Meringatang Gang. That, if you decide you don't want your name publicized, is where you will go. You can also send me one-time donations with a message. If you want it specifically read, for example, on one of these shows, let me know, and I will I will endeavor to do so. Other than that, if you'd like to support me without spending any money, you can check, comment, follow, like, share, or subscribe, depending on platform. This will be posted both to my Rumble and to my YouTube when it's done. Other than that, don't know if I'm doing anything tomorrow yet. It's one of those good weather, busy time sort of weeks again, so don't know. You can find me on X, Gab, GETTR, and Substack. GETTR may be going the way of the dodo as well soon. I get very little engagement out of GETTR. I don't have a Discord page, and I don't have merch at the moment. I am considering re-upping both. The merch, obviously, because I could use another revenue stream, and I don't like just having people give me money just to do this. I'd like you guys to get something out of it. Something physical. So you can go, hey, look who I support. Like a fanboy. Okay, folks, that's it for me. I hope you're doing well. I hope you continue to do well. And as always, rise and rise again, until lambs become lions. Bye-bye.